Welcome to day 4 of our week of prayer at King's Community Church here in Norwich. My name's Stuart, I'm part of the leadership team here at King's. And today I'd like to be encouraging us to be positioning ourselves in His presence. This reflects a prophetic word which we had a few years ago as a church, that we should position ourselves for the presence of God. So today we're going to be praying for ourselves and our families, that we're right in that sweet spot where we are in God's presence and seeing His power at work in our midst. It's only by the sovereign royal activity of God that we'll see His kingdom come, but we're called to participate in that by praying. It's a great privilege, and we want to enter into that fully in this week. One of the hallmarks of revival in particular is that there were people praying for it before it started. And we want to be a part of that too here in Norwich. One of the issues which prevents us from praying effectively can sometimes be sin in our lives. And if we're positioning ourselves for His presence, we want to make sure that we've dealt with that before we start. Otherwise, we won't see answers to our prayer. So I want to encourage you, before you start this week, to consider whether there's anything in your life which is going to get in the way of effective praying. If you think back to Steph Liston's preach back in November last year, he talked about that one big thing in our lives which can sometimes be a bit of an idol and get in between us and God. Just spend a moment reflecting on that and consider whether there's anything that you need to give up in order to see effective prayer in your own life. The other thing I'd ask you to consider is waiting a bit. Sometimes we are keen to see answers immediately, but we want to wait and hear from God Himself as to what His will is, so that we know that we're praying in accordance with it. When we pray the Lord's Prayer, we say, Lord, your kingdom come, your will be done. And we want to see God's will come to pass. We want to see His kingdom come. And to do that, to pray effectively towards that end, we need to know what His will is. So I'd encourage you to wait and ask God for wisdom about that. Hear from Him about what He has in mind for us, and then pray fervently and effective prayers so that we see His kingdom come. So that's it. Let's position ourselves for His presence so that He responds in power, enables us to see His kingdom come, and make a real difference in our city. If you feel you've received something from God during this week, we'd love to hear from you about it. And the easiest way to tell us is by email to prayer@kings-norwich.com. It would be great to share what you've heard from God with the church as a whole. So please let us know. You can find more details on the prayer calendar, on the daily email. This evening, Tuesday, we have a prayer meeting at West Earlham Junior School. That's the City West site at 7:30. We'd love as many as possible of you to come and join with us there this evening. And then tomorrow evening, Wednesday, there's a prayer meeting in Porringland for a potential fourth site there. We're looking forward to that in the future. And Friday evening, we're gathering together here at the King's Centre at 7:30 to pray together as a church family. I pray you have a really blessed week as you get into praying and positioning yourself for God's presence. Amen.